What I want to do is I want to discuss perfect square trinomials. A trinomial that has a square of a binomial is called a perfect square trinomial. For example, we have x plus 3 times x plus 3. This is the same, and this is the same. And these are also factors. The factors are the same. So it will be x plus 3 to the second power. That's a perfect square trinomial. Now we want to decide whether this trinomial is a perfect square. We have to look at the first term and we have to look at the last term. In the first term, is there a number or a variable that you square that will give you x squared? And in the last term, is there a number that you square to give you 16? In this case, there's 4 and there's x. Now we just need to know what's the product of the two and does it equal the middle? So in this case, we have 2 times x times 4, which gives you 8x. Is that here in the middle? So yes. So x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to x plus 4 to the second power. It is a perfect square trinomial. So we're going to follow the same logic. We're going to decide whether 4x squared plus 10x plus 9 is a perfect square trinomial. We have to look at the first term. Can you square it? Can you square something to get 4x squared? And we're going to look at the last term. Is there something that you can square to give you 9? And of course there's 3. 3 squared gives you 9. And of course 2x gives you 4x squared. Now we just have to multiply the 2x and the 3 times 2. 2 times 2x times 3. And we got to check. Does it equal 10x? If so, then it's a perfect square trinomial. 2 times 2x is 4x times 3 is 12x. So it does not equal the middle term. So it is not a perfect square trinomial. We're going to check if this is a perfect square trinomial. X squared plus 12x plus 36. We're going to look at the first term. And we're going to look at the last term. And then you have to ask me, is there something that you can square to get x squared? And of course there's x. And 6 can be squared to get 36. Now we just have to find the product of the two. We have x times 2 times 6. Does that give you 12x? And in this case it does. Therefore it's going to factor to x plus 6 times x plus 6. We're going to check if this is a perfect square trinomial. We need to look at the first term and see if there's something that you can square to get 25x squared. And then you also have to tell me the last term. Is there something that you can square to get 4y squared? In this case, we have 5 squared is 25. X is x squared. 2 squared is y. And then we have y squared. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 5x times 2y times 2. And you're going to see that it is going to be 20xy. 2 times 5 is 10. Times 2 is 20. So our factors are going to be 5x plus 2y times 5x plus 2y, which is equal to 5x plus 2y squared. Now, if we want to factor the difference of two squares, we have to make sure that we have a factor or a number that's going to be squared that will give us z squared. And in this case, we have 4, not 4 squared. We have 4. what number can you square to get 4? In this case, it's 2, and then we have z. So therefore, it's going to follow the pattern a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is going to be z plus 2 because that's going to represent b. And then we have z minus 2. Go ahead and try to do example 8. We have y squared minus 25. And we want to check, do we have something that we can square that's going to give us y squared? And definitely it's y. And 25, is there something that we can square to give us 25? And definitely there's 5. So we have a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is represented by y, and b is represented by 5. Once again, we have a again, we have y minus 5. And that's how you factor a difference of 2 squares.